everyone, and welcome back to Laura teaching you how to become famous, rich, and perfect. I'm capping. No, I'm telling you guys today how I actually become a content creator, because I feel like I get the question a lot of times, especially on stream, as to, oh, how do I become a streamer? How do I become a cosplayer? Etc, etc. And I just thought, you know what, the best way to show other people how to become that is telling my story, because my story is probably the most stupidest way. Not really stupid, but more so a very boring, uninterested, uninteresting, and very uncomplicated story. So let's get right back into it. Bazingas. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a hate comment, because if you don't do that, you're a bitch ass. And you will always stay a bitch ass until you change that. So change it today. Be a better person. Just letting you know. So for me, actually, everything began in 2018, 2019, where Corona started happening and I started to get into cosplay. I think I started to get into cosplay when I was 18, and I saw a video on TikTok of a American Comic-Con, and I was like, you know what? I like anime. Let me try this shit out. So I bought a Ken Kaneki female version cosplay. I put it on, and I looked like absolute dog shit. You know those cosplayers that never put on their wigs and style them? Just straight out of the pack on your body? That was me. That was literally me. My cosplays look dog shit. Real rap, dog shit from A to B, cosplay, makeup, wigs, everything looked shit. But you know what? I enjoyed myself. I think we all did back in the day. So I started posting my shit on TikTok, and after reaching, I would say round about 10,000 followers back then, with just constantly posting, some videos getting a bit more views than others, I actually linked up with some other cosplayers, and we would do meetups where we would get our cosplays ready, get in cosplay, and just go live on TikTok. And one day, the infamous Runa cosplay came. I'm gonna show you a video right the fuck here.
Say I love ice cream.
Cantono.
Say I want ice cream.
Cantono.
Yeah, that's a minor character. I like cosplaying her. Nowadays, I just think how stupid I was to act like a little child in a child cosplay. I would never do that again. But back then, there was not really going a brain to my thought, not a thought in my brain, because I was like, you know what? Like, I didn't even think people would sexualize it. But nowadays, I'm a bit smarter than that, and I would not do that again. But yeah, that's how it started for me, because I posted a video, this video actually, and yeah, let's just say that blew up overnight, and I think I gained from, at that point, being at 30,000 followers to almost 400,000. Yeah, that was interesting. So I started live streaming more on TikTok. I was doing more Instagram posts, etc, etc. At that point, I think I had like maybe 5,000 followers on Instagram. I had 500,000 at some point on TikTok after consistently posting, and I was doing more live streams on TikTok, which would get me around about 300 to 400 viewers all the time on an average. And one of my, at the time, friends started doing Twitch, and we kind of talked about it. We were like, you know what, like maybe this is the way. Maybe Twitch is like fun, more interactive, just a better streaming platform than TikTok at the time was, because back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, thank you for the ice cream. Ooh, Galaxy. The whole NPC streamers wasn't really a thing. Back in the day, was barely just sitting there and talking. So I started switching from being on TikTok live streaming to Twitch live streaming. And I think the first time I actually streamed, I broadcasted it on TikTok thinking it would get me more viewers. Well, turns out back in the day that did not work. Not at all. Completely broke down. I had like 15 viewers, and I was still happy though. I was still happy. I was pulling in good numbers compared to like people that just started Twitch. So I was like determined to continue that. Maybe if I find a clip from my first stream, I let my editor insert it here. So, dann gehen wir mal wieder runter. I didn't really have a plan. I just started. I was just playing video games, doing my cosplay, shit talking. Just the same thing I still do. Speaking fluent Japanese, because that's what a bitch does. That's low-key like my whole content. A lot of people don't fuck with that shit, and I low-key get it. Because like, when does a bitch shut the fuck up? Newsflash, never, never, never say never. Never say never. Okay, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, just shut the fuck up. Well, then I actually got into kind of a rivalry with some other people I used to be involved with, and it kind of turned into a weird thing where I was all by myself. And at that time, I launched my first YouTube channel with another friend at the time, and we would like barely upload shit. I'm gonna be honest, like we would film stuff, I would give it to her for cutting it, I would design the thumbnails and the whole account design, and I would push it the most. So that was like kind of our agreement. But at some point we were just like not really fucking with it anymore, as well as it was just not consistently able for us to do, because we're still in school, we both had very long working days, and then meeting up to like do YouTube videos just wasn't working, and my content was just going a different direction than hers were. So we kind of parted ways, and at that point I was like, you know what, let me 1v9 Twitch and Instagram. So I continued doing that from 2019 until I think 2020. So for an entire year I was just streaming. In that time I actually broke up with a long-term partner of mine shortly before I turned 21, and around that time I actually, through my stream, which is the best fucking idea you can have, I met someone new, and I actually moved in with that person a couple of months later. Also, biggest mistake of my fucking life. And then back in the day, the breakup wasn't very on a good note. I was at that point, I think, around 35 viewers on an average, maybe on a good day 40, and I gained like enough followers on Instagram. I think I peaked like 15,000 followers at that time. And my partner and I, well, at that point it was my ex-partner because we split up, but we still had to live in the same apartment. My partner would constantly shut down the internet on me, so I wasn't able to really stream. So for a couple of months I stopped streaming regularly. I would maybe just like stream once or twice every 2 to 3 weeks, and my viewers were like tanking at that time. My content was like tanking really badly. That's when I noticed like consistency actually is the key on every single platform. So I started making another TikTok account, and that TikTok account blew up like very fast as soon as I moved back home. And that account got like, I think in a couple of months, like 30,000 followers. It didn't have any cosplay involved, just like an emo bitch being emotional. Yeah, no, I was like the full-on package e-girl on that shit. And through that I met, I think a couple of months later, a new partner of mine. We were dating for a bit, and my streams were like doing way better. I was getting like 60 viewers, 70 viewers. I was putting like more effort into it, but still not like crazy. So on good days, I would average like 60, 70 viewers, but it was still like, it was never going up really dramatically. It was always like staying at that or even lower. Without lying, I was maybe making like 300 to 400 euros a month. And I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have any income from collabs. No income from TikTok, no income from Instagram. I wasn't in a management, so only my subs, donations, and bits were what I really made money off. So after getting out of that relationship, I was like, you know what? I don't want to get in a relationship, because I was kind of not a relationship hopper, but I was someone that as soon as a relationship was over, I could not be by myself. Like a bitch needed the validation, I guess, from a partner, or like the security of a partner. I don't know what it was, but I was like jumping from one relationship into another. So that was not good. And at that point I was like, you know what? This is my year. I'm going to concentrate completely on myself, just thriving, doing my shit. And I started having a routine that maybe some of you might think is unhealthy. I would say it's unhealthy, but I would wake up round about at 6 in the morning, go to school, go to work, depending on which day I had. And then I would be 8 hours in school or 8 hours at work, and get home, have like 1 hour to take a nap, maybe like eat something, just get like some shit done. And I would directly press start on my stream and stream until like 2 in the morning, go to bed, wake up 4 hours later, take an energy drink, and literally do that 7 days of the week. On the weekends, I would do my school stuff, my work stuff, whichever was needed, but I was like pushing like 9 to 12 hour streams consistently. And that's when I noticed my streams popping off to like an amount where I was averaging like 120 viewers. I think one German site actually took a clip of mine and posted it on TikTok. And that clip went literally nuke. Like it literally went so nuke that I averaged like around 300 to 400 viewers in like 2-3 months. And it was overwhelming. people were getting aware of me, content creators were getting aware of me, people would invite me to collabs and everything. Obviously, because I'm socially anxious, I didn't take any of them, but I was like getting in contact with content creators, and the biggest thing there was that I literally thought I was like someone, and that might sound stupid to some of you, but I really thought I was like getting to a point where I'm gonna be like the fucking next Kai Cenat, and I was like getting over my head, thinking that everyone has good intentions with me and just wants to push me. But we all should know that, especially in life, no one gifts you anything, nothing is for free. So I was like not used, but I was kind of like exploited in some sort of ways, but I'm not trying to get into that detail. So at that point, I was like, you know what? Let me just grind myself. And I was doing at that time tattoo streams that not really a lot of people would do on Twitch, just because I knew, yo, this is like something that I'm really excited about, that is like emotionally good for me. Like it's like therapy for me. And it has to do with arts and crafts, and it's just like a cool thing to do on Twitch because no one has ever done it before. So I knew that if I would be consistent and bring like a new format into this whole thing, that could like grow. So I did that, and one day a guy named Paul came into my stream and was like, yo, would you be down to appear as a tattoo artist in some streamers' stream? So I was like, oh, who is that streamer? Because obviously I'm not gonna spend money to go somewhere if it doesn't bring me anything. Obviously, no one should do that. The fuck? So that person recommended me, well, told me that there was a streamer called Felix, shoutouts to you, that has a subathon right now, and he would be interested in having tattoo artists on. But later on, it came out that it was kind of like the idea of the cutter, like the Paul guy, to bring me on, and not really from the streamer. But that's besides the point. That was like a lucky thing, I guess. I got in contact with that content creator. I think he was at that point like around 40,000 followers on Instagram. I had like still like 15, 16,000, maybe 17,000 followers, and he was like averaging 1,000 to 2,000 viewers, and I was like at my 400-500. He was like, you know what, can you come down next weekend and we do the stream together where you tattoo me live on stream, or like tattoo other people? So I was like, you know what, like I have a very tight schedule, but I will make it possible. So I went to school, I went home, grabbed my shit, slept for like 2 hours, woke up at 5 in the morning, took a train 6 hours from Berlin to Cologne. At 12 in the morning, we were actually meeting up so we could set everything up, talk about how we're gonna do things. Yeah, we did the stream and we got along like crazy. Like there were so many funny clips happening.
Wie prestigious ist dieser fucking
Der Play-Button.
Junge.
Ja, du darfst. Alles gut, Laura.
So many people that were like, oh my god, like these guys can be shippable, like are you guys in a relationship, like who is this girl, etc, etc. And Felix just saw like a very, very grabbable thing on content that you could grab there that is very similar to the American back in the day streamers Jay Schlatt and Minx. And he was like, you know what? Something like this, like the humor is still missing in Germany. We should like grab onto that because I think we would fit in there very, very well. Like we can bring it over very, very, very well. So I started to come over almost every single week, spending like 200, 300, 400 euros to go down there. And at that time I was making round about 2,500 euros a month just from streaming, by the way. No YouTube. I was maybe posting like one video every 6 months because, you know, I'm gonna be honest, shout outs to all my cutters out there, because like, bitch, that work is too fucking exhausting. Like, I'd rather not do that, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was like only doing that, only doing Instagram, some TikTok on the side, and the streams and the content with Felix. And at that time, I really invested all my time in it. I would not go to school on Fridays, not go to work on Fridays, just so I could like drive over there to Cologne, stay the weekend, do full on content every single day, and then go back on Sundays. Or sometimes even Mondays in the morning, and instead of going home, I would directly go to school. So I was like sleep deprived like crazy, but I was enjoying myself. I'm gonna be honest, like thinking back to it, that must have been the funniest, most exciting time I had as a content creator that I look back at and I'm like, this is amazing. Like I had so much fun doing that and kind of reminiscing about it. So we would do content. People were like constantly shipping us because we would like do clips and like scenarios and behave a certain way. So it made it seem like on social media that we were like secretly hiding something, but also like still like showing people, and it was like catching on. Like clips would get millions of views, 100,000s of views, and I gained in a short amount of time, I think around 35 to 40,000 followers on Instagram. I was averaging 700 to 900 viewers on Twitch, sometimes even over 1,000. We would do Discord calls on stream, do therapy sessions on stream for viewers, etc., etc. So at that time, I was kind of getting involved in the Cologne scene. By the way, all of this was German content. Nothing of that was English content. Also, to make clear for everyone out there, if you want to hear that side of the story from the other person, there's a podcast out there. But I've never slept with anyone that I did content with except my man. You know what I mean? And my man and I started doing content after we got in a relationship. So you better step the fuck back. Just letting you know that. So after that, we kind of like did content. We went to conventions together and it was just a fun time. Then it was getting the word out there in Cologne that I was a tattoo artist. So a lot of people that would come on the tattoo streams with me and Felix would hit me up later and be like, yo, can you tattoo me? Can you do this? And I was like, obviously down for it. So one day we were all sitting in a Discord call and one of the groups from back then was like, yo, guys, there's a guy coming down. You will not believe who that is. And everyone was like, oh, who? And it was, by the way, like 4 a.m. So I was like half fucking asleep. And he was like, oh yeah, it's Dantes. And everyone was like, Dantes, the League guy, blah, blah, blah. And remind you, I don't play League. I'm not involved in that whole charade, all these people that play League, and especially not the English speaking ones. So I was like, don't care, don't give a fuck, don't know who that is, wouldn't even mind. They talked about it for like maybe like 5-10 minutes, and then I was like, you know what, let me get off. I went off sleeping, and that was it. So a couple of days later, I think I got a message from that same guy being like, yo, do you remember when we were talking about the guy coming down? And I was like, yeah, let me know, like, what's up? And he was like, so we were thinking if you wanted to do an official tattooing stream with all of us and tattoo us live on stream. And I was like, obviously, let me do that. Like, no issue. I've always said yes to that stuff. Never denied anyone. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Then a couple of days later, I knew that I was going down there like in a week. So I was actually like asking people my stream, like, oh my God, who's that Dantes Joannel guy? And everyone was like, oh my God, it's the crazy guy, the crazy dude. So they all sent me clips of him and I like watched them and I was like, oh, his face kind of seems familiar to me. So I probably seen him on my TikTok, but like, I don't follow him or anything. So whatever. So I was watching through the shit and I was like, bro, low-key, you're hot. So I was like low-key crushing. Like, we all know that. We see a person, we're like instantly like, just rip my pants off. Don't. Wait, they don't love me. Okay. So, yeah. That happened and I was like, oh, let me shoot my shoot, you know what I mean? So I told the people to give me like a leak, like flirting line, and I would put a picture of myself in there. So I actually tweeted out this year, and Dante's answer to that, being like something along the lines of, oh yeah, if you tattoo your face, my name on your face, then we can talk about it. And I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, I was like not even minding anything about it. I was like planning on going down there, whatever. So then my guy slid in my DMs. So he slid in my DMs and was like, let me take you out. And I was like, okay, sure. Never been on like a real date before, so sure. So I went there and I was like streaming a bit and I was like still averaging like around 600 to 700 viewers. And that was like, I think the month in which I met Dantes, financially my best month, because I made that month, I think like 12-13 grand. Which is like, just from streaming, bitch. Yes, I'll take that. So I had my best month ever. And then I met Dantes. I got hated on. Yes, everyone called me Gragas. Yes, everyone called me oversized Ari. Yes, fat shaming. So yeah, that was like an experience. And now not just the German like kind of community was looking at me weirdly, because everyone was already like, nah, where did she spawn from? But then I also had like the fucking Americans bashing me. So that was cool, I guess. And yeah, we had a rough start in our relationship with social media, etc., etc. Then it got to a point where I was like, you know what? Low-key, I'm so obsessed with this guy. And he was like, low-key, I'm only gonna be with you if you move in with me right away. What do you mean? Of course I will do that. I did that. So I was like, yeah, bro, right the fucking way, right the fuck. So then I got like in touch with a couple of managements, and one management actually fuck you. One management actually was like, oh my God, we're so interested. Like, they were so invested in me. And then they just literally not blocked me, but they were like, oh yeah, oh my God, my mom is sick. I can't like answer you for a while. And then I was like, oh yeah, I understand that, whatever. I messaged him back like a couple of weeks later. I think like even like a couple of months later. I was like, oh, so how do things look? They never answered me back. But that's whatever, because now I'm in the management I am in right now, and they approached me actually. And yeah. What a management basically does is get you co-ops, which is pretty cool. I don't have to do anything. They do the pricing for me. They ask me, yo, is this fine for you? And I'm like, yo. And yeah, that's how I get my money. Basically, I was just like constantly like thriving. It was just going up, up, up for me. And then Korea happened. Yeah. Then Korea happened. 2022. Yeah, 2023 Korea happened. Back there, I didn't have anything to stream. Stop. Lulu Riz. I didn't have a good IRL streaming setup. I didn't have a setup overall. So for like 2 or 3 weeks straight, I wasn't able to do content. And because my content was like mostly me tattooing or cosplaying, I literally didn't know what to do there because I didn't have cosplays. I didn't have tattooing stuff. I just had myself. And at some point, the yapping is also over. You know what I mean? So I was like, ugh. So my viewer count went down from like 800 to like 150 on a good day. And I was emotionally done. I was done. I was like, no, I'm not gonna be a content creator anymore. I just stopped going to school. I like put all my cards into content creation, and now you're telling me that I'm like fucked. Like what? Like I'm fucked. I don't make any money. That was the first month after making 15 grand in a month, and then it's like, yo, a bitch didn't even fucking make like 200 for Twitch to pay it out for me. So I was like, no, like this shit is fucked. Everything is fucked. Like my views went down everywhere. And then I don't even know what really happened, but I started doing the cooking streams with Dantes in his apartment. The clips went viral. Like Dantes' clips channel was like playing in 700,000 views a day. Like literally bad shit crazy. So I was like, ooh. And then it happened that I started like posting more consistently. I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to do here. I don't have school. I don't have friends. I don't have my family here. I have nothing here. So might as well start streaming again. So I started streaming again, taking Instagram serious. I was post one reel a day, one post a week. I would post a TikTok a day, up to 3 TikToks a day. And I was streaming every day, almost every day. Not really. Actually, I was streaming like every 2 days, but like that's besides the point. I was streaming more consistently. And then I grew again from like 150 to 200 viewers, then 250 viewers, then 300 viewers. And that's when I thought that my career was at a good point. And I was holding that for pretty long, but that's when social media fucked me. What I mean with social media fucked me, I actually mean super hard, through my back door with a fucking 30-inch You get the memo. I was getting really fucked because we actually went on a work trip with Dantes, and after that everything went nuke. I guess everyone heard about it. Dantes broke up with me, and we got back like I think like a month or 2 months later, while we were still trying to work things out. And a medical incident of mine was actually talked about without my permission, and everyone was just hating me. I was literally like, I'm never gonna stream again. I'm literally gonna kill myself. Like, I don't care. Like, literally everyone was calling me a murderer, sending me dead baby pictures, sending me death threats, telling me how I should die, how I should get raped, I should go die with my child and shit like that. So I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And on top of that, some random bimbo fucking posted, actually, what is even the definition of bimbo? I don't even know what the gender of the person is. Well, some person behind a Twitter account thought, oh yeah, I hate Dantes, let me take a picture from a video that I posted. And without giving credit, voila, no. If I post a video and you take screenshot, at least have the decency of tagging that video, at least. But whatever, besides the point. Yeah, everyone was just hating on me. Everyone was just like, yeah, yeah. And I was just like, okay, the fucking world hates me. No more reasons, you know what I mean? And thank God to my friends, my family, and Dantes family, of course, for like having my back and taking care of me. So social media basically literally like me from behind, and I wanted to just like not be there anymore. So basically while that happened, and I sit here saying all these things, and you might ask yourself, but you gained so many followers from it. Okay, bitch, the fuck are these followers gonna do for me mentally? The fuck? Like, I gained some following off of it, but it's like that whole situation, nothing of that was insinuated by me. I didn't do none of that. I didn't want that. I didn't want negativity on me. I wanted to always like be just like doing my shit, balling, and who wanted to ball with me was balling with me, and who didn't want to do that didn't have to. You know what I mean? So for me, that was like a very skibadoocious hard time, but I got through that and I started streaming again. And people low-key still didn't leave me alone, and even until this day. Bro, you know how often I still get fucking comments, people hating on me about the same fucking shit, but nowadays it's just like, I'm so numb to it that I'm like, okay, bro, next, please. Just waiting for the next one coming, you know? It's just like, it's not that special anymore. Over that time, I started streaming consistently again, posting again, and I even got like editors for YouTube. So nowadays, I grew my YouTube channel from originally, I think, 20,000 followers to actually 60,000. We had that yesterday. Well, for you guys, it's a bit back in the day, but for me right now, it's yesterday. So that was exciting. And I hit 400,000 on Instagram, 120,000 on Twitch. Like, I'm just like thriving, you know, but you still have like people following you just to see drama, and I just don't fuck with that shit. So skibidocious. So yeah, nowadays I'm here. I make like round about $1,500 to $2,000 depending on what collab I have in a month. Yeah, that's just what I do. I stream round about 4 times a week. I put out 2 long-term YouTube videos, 3 YouTube shorts a day. I post like once in a while an Instagram post, once in a while Instagram reel, and that's just the way I thrive with it. With that all being said, I would just like TLDR you guys that if you want to be on social media, especially I would say as a female representative, that you're gonna have a hard time. Be prepared for that. Doesn't mean you have to, but I feel like even the most unproblematic people on social media are gonna get hated on. And if you're someone that can't live with negativity, you're fucked. So is social media a hard job? No, you just gotta be consistent. You gotta be time invested and creative for it, and of course entertaining. Like, bro, if you just sit there, you're fucking, I don't know, sucking big D in fucking gold in Valorant, and you're just sitting there playing and not entertaining, like, no one is gonna fucking watch you, you know what I mean? But if you're like a good player, or like you have a funny personality, like, just put on the stream, start doing your shit, and just thrive. But especially nowadays, I feel like people underestimate how less of money you make if you're not like so extremely big that you can make a lot of money out of it. So if you're just like, let's say 50 viewers and have a couple of 100 followers, that is still a big accomplishment, and you should 100% keep on doing your shit, but you're not going to get rich off of it. You know what I mean? I would say with the whole thing happening, I would say streaming, content creation, YouTuber, whatever you want to be, or whatever, it's like a job that is very rewarding and you make easily money, especially in the bigger leagues. But it's also kind of a thing where you do have privacy, but everything you say and talk about on the internet is gonna be flipped around, torn around. And if you're not in a position where people can leash off of you, more so there's people bigger than you watching above you, you are a target. So I would always say, if you want to be on social media, especially as a personality that people know, you should always be aware of the fact that people are gonna judge you. They're gonna judge your behaviors. And what's something me and Dantes learned? Well, I didn't have to learn that because I didn't make the decision. But what Dantes learned is that you maybe shouldn't post everything about your relationship on social media, regardless of if the relationship is between friends, lovers, or family. But people will take that and give their opinions, and that can put a toll on everything. So yeah, I would just say everyone that wants to be on social media, do content creation or whatever, consistency is the key. And one big thing that people have to understand is it has so much to do with luck. It has to do with the right clip just gets to the right audience and then it pops off. It's not a thing that I programmed. Like, even with me, that my one video on TikTok went viral. After that, that other TikTok that made my Twitch viewers go up went viral, that I then got in like a contact with Felix, and from then on met Dantes over that whole like Cologne scene that I met through Felix. it's all just like a coincidence after coincidence that kind of falls into place. I would say most of the times it has to do mostly with luck, just being there at the right time with the right amount of content, just because you have to understand there's so many incredibly talented and funny and beautiful people. If there's a woman with fat tits, just like slide in my DMs, but that's besides the point. A lot of beautiful, talented people out there that just sit at 2 viewers for like years at a time and never go anywhere. So if you want to try it and give it a shot, I would always recommend it. Do your shit, be consistent, but don't sit there and cry about it if you only post once a week and then it's like a shitty video that's not even funny. Yeah, but that being said, I empower everyone to follow your dreams, and if you want to be a content creator, Dantes is the best sign. He said I want to be, and he was, is, and will be. Yeah, guys, you freak bastards. I hope you liked kind of insight. If you have any questions regarding content creation, how I got specific things, how I did specific things, my setup that I have for streaming so I can actually stream, like my OBS, my camera, my PC stats, what like a kind of a streaming plan looks like for me, leave that in the comments. I hope you liked this video. This was kind of like a podcast. Yeah, I know. Oh my god, Laura, didn't you say you bought this expensive $2,000 couch just so I can make a podcast on it? Yes, I did. So what you gonna do about it? Force me on the couch? Bitch, I'm set. Bitch, I'm set. That was awkward. But yeah, guys, so if you have any other questions, I'm gonna do my podcast soon on that couch, so you're not gonna see this anymore. Even though I'm kind of feeling this vibe, it's like cozy. I have like my T-Rex fucking chanclas on. Like, I'm doing good, you know what I mean? If there's any other topics you want me to talk about in the future, leave it in the comments. Be a girl's girl or a man's girl, or like, I don't give a fuck what you are, girl. So like, yeah, leave some support there. Even if it's hate, that's supporting me. So thanks, queen. Thanks. Maybe smack your ass or twist them nipples. Don't know, don't care. See ya.